Game week 9 of the Premier League is here, and there is a big game in the title race, a massive title race clash, title chasing clash, Premier League title clash, whatever you want to call it. Massive implications on the Premier League title here today, guarantee you that. As well as a whole other big important fixtures as well across the table, so there should be a big game week in the Premier League. So before we get into my predictions for this round, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're a big fan of Premier League predictions, then this is the place for you. There's a lot of big controversial predictions from myself on the scores. I'm sure I get everyone right. Definitely get every single one right. So we've got through all the intro stuff. Now let's talk about the fixtures. Starting off, Friday Night Football. First Friday Night Football in a long time since either the first or second game. Can't remember which one it was. Definitely first game. Don't know if it was one second or third game week. But we have a Friday Night Football for once. And that is, the first one is Leicester versus Nottingham Forest. Obviously, two teams who have pretty good seasons compared to, I guess, people's predictions. Nottingham Forest flying high in the top 10. Whereas Leicester, for a slow couple of games, starting to pick up wins now. And got to be safe. They got to stay up for Leicester to be obviously one of the promoted teams. And obviously the big thing is obviously Steve Cooper going up against his former club, obviously against Nottingham Forest. And as you can see, I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I think Forest do love a draw. Leicester aren't afraid of a draw either. And I'm just predicting that it'll be a draw. It'll be one of those standard games. It's just a standard, it's not mid-table, but like a 13th or I guess it's somewhat mid-table game, just a draw, classic 1-1 draw. Both teams are going to be fine. Both they're nowhere near relegation for this season. Yeah, 1-1 draw. Leicester Nottingham Forest, 1-1 draw. I think that's a fair result to say. So that is my first prediction for the round. Next up, we have Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Obviously, Villa absolutely flying on cloud 9 from Europe. Top of the Champions League at the moment, which is only people have said of 3 games, Aston Villa, top of the Champions League. No, we wouldn't have thought it. One of 2 teams unbeaten in the Champions League, the other being Liverpool, as in 100% record, I should say, but the other being Liverpool. Going against the Bournemouth team, we obviously got a massive win last time out against Arsenal. Yeah, we talk about Arsenal when we get to them. And yeah, I think Villa will beat Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth, they got the nice win. You got your win last time out, Bournemouth, mate. But you're not beating Villa. Villa are good. Villa at home as well. What do you expect? 2 to Villa. I'll say this, Bournemouth get a penalty, but they're not going to score it because Martinez exists. Simple as that. So yeah, 2 to Villa. I'll say Watkins gets a double. Watkins and Duran. They'll get the goals. So yeah, 2 to Villa is my prediction. Next up, a potential relegation scrap this. Potentially, we have Brentford versus Ipswich. And I'm tired of predicting Ipswich winning. I've said Ipswich will win like 4 times this season, and they failed every time. So I'm saying Brentford will win 3-1. Comfortable win for Brentford. Ipswich will take the lead, and then Brentford will score 3. It's just a classic Ipswich game. They take the lead, and then they throw it away as always. So yeah, Brentford will score. It'll be a very comfortable game for Brentford. And Ipswich is not terrible season, because they're not having a bad season, but the lack of wins, the winless run for Ipswich in the Premier League will continue. So yeah, 3-1 Brentford is my prediction. Next up, another pretty big game for one of the managers. We have Brighton versus Wolves. Obviously, Gary O'Neill struggling at the moment as Wolves manager. On the table, it's another hard game for Wolves. They've had a horror show of predictions, fixtures. They're playing all the good teams. I don't know if they've played. I say they played Forest, who are in the top half. So I think they've played 1 team in the bottom half so far this season. Wolves, maybe 2. I guess if they played United, I don't know if they played United at this point. But yeah, Wolves, they just can't get going at the moment, and they're going up against a Brighton team who are having a fantastic season, and I think it'll continue for Brighton. 2-1 win, good close game. If Wolves will put up a good fight, they're just getting unlucky again. They obviously got screwed last time out against City, whereas City, so no surprise there. And yeah, I'll say it'll be 1-1 after half time, and then Brighton will get a winner in like the 70th minute to make it 2-1 and continue their good season, whilst Wolves' horrible season and the relegation scrap form continues. Next up, this is the easiest prediction of the weekend, isn't it? Man City versus Southampton. Second against 19th. I think Southampton around 2. Yeah. Second against 19th, 5-0. That's all I don't need to say. I think 5-0. Haaland will get 2. Who else will score? Gundogan will score. Foden will get 2. There you go, 5-0. It could be 6 or 7, honestly. Like, this is going to be a battering. This is a game where City are going to do damage to their goal difference in a good way. Boosting that goal difference 5-0. Like, yeah, it's just gonna be. There's no competition here. It's just a very easy Man City win. That's all you need to say. City 5, Southampton 0. We can move on. Next up, Everton versus Fulham. Now, this is a pretty big one, Everton Fulham. Obviously, Fulham had a good season. Everton starting to kick on now, but I've got potentially considered a bit of a shock. I've gone 2-1 Fulham. Obviously, Fulham, good game against Villa last time, I came up short, whereas Everton got a win against Ipswich. It's just Ipswich, there's no surprise there. But yeah, I've gone for a 2-1 win for Fulham. I think Fulham, I'm going for a Smith Rowe and Iwobi Arsenal double against Everton. And yeah, it's going to be a good game. Don't get me wrong. If Everton gets something from this game, wouldn't be surprised. But I'm just backing Fulham to win this one. A bit of a surprise. 2-1 Fulham. I think it's a fair thing to say. You can predict a surprise every now and then, right? So yeah, 2-1 Fulham is my prediction. Right, next up, it was actually a big, one of two big games, actually. This is actually the second biggest game of the weekend. I forgot about this one. Chelsea versus Newcastle. Two teams who, in their own rights, are going to be gunning for the top 4, because I think that 4th spot is pretty open this year. Yeah, that is pretty open, actually. Chelsea, Newcastle. I've gone for a pretty high-scoring game. I've gone for a 4-2 win for Chelsea. Chelsea, like a good high-scoring win. Newcastle, don't really score goals, to be fair, but I'm going for a 4-2 win. I'd say Cole Palmer will score a hat-trick, because it's Cole Palmer things. And Kunku will get a goal for Chelsea, whereas Isak and Harvey Barnes will score for Newcastle. It'll be an entertaining game, but Chelsea, it's not for the first time this year, a 4-2 win. So there might be a third time this would happen if my prediction is correct. Yeah, Chelsea obviously had a good season considering where everyone thought they'd be. Newcastle, solid-ish. It's fallen off a little bit, but they're there or thereabouts. Newcastle where they should be. Yeah, I've gone for a 4-2 win. I think, nothing really you could say on that one. Pretty just as, your standard 4-2 win. I say standard, that's not a standard at all, but for Chelsea's sake, a standard 4-2 win for them. Next up, we have Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. Obviously, big pressure on manager Glasner, who's obviously really struggling right now at Palace. Bottom 3. Worst start to a Premier League campaign ever for Palace. Is this finally the year Palace go down? Please, Palace go down. They're not going to, because they'll be fucking 15th, or not 15th, they'll be 12th by the end of the year, because they just Palace things. But I'm going for a 1-0 win. Yeah, obviously Tottenham off the back of winning in Europe. It's just your standard, it's a London derby, if you can call it London derby. I think it's a London derby. It's just your standard 1-0 win. I'll say Maddison gets the goal. Why not? Palace, it's not an easy place to go, Palace. It's never a good place to go. I say it's not in crowd, right? Just stage, just always, Palace always do well at home. So you have to go for a 1-0 win for Tottenham. Your standard prediction there. Next up, we have two teams who are struggling, massively underperforming in West Ham versus Manchester United. I think it's like 13th or 14th v 13th. Like two teams who should be in the top 10, bottom half the table. I've gone for, as a result, a boring game. It's going to just sum up both teams, to be honest. 0-0. Both teams are useless as always. United drew again in Europe against Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce. I mean, I said Fenerbahce would do something in that game. And they did. And of course, shocked. Is anyone really surprised? Mourinho made it by himself. Got sent off. No surprise there. But yeah, I've gone for a 0-0 draw. Just a dull, boring, absolute shocking game. Nothing, no quality at all. Sums up both teams. So that is my prediction there. And then the final game, the big game in terms of the title race, is third v first, Arsenal versus Liverpool. And as an Arsenal fan, I am shitting myself for this game. I might be a little bit biased to saying I've gone for a 2-2 draw, but if Liverpool win, I'm not going to be surprised. Obviously we lost to Bournemouth last time out, which weren't great. Saliba got sent off, so he's missing this game. Great, even better. Oh, that's fine. We've got Calafiori. Great, no, he's injured as well. He gets injured in Europe. Like, Timber's also injured. I don't know what our defence is going to be. We've got Ben White, Gabriel. Who else? Zinchenko's come back, but okay. But who's the fourth one? We've got 3 defenders. Who's the fourth one? Like, it's just not looking good, is it? It's really not looking good. Like, it was Partey going to play defence. Saka's still injured. Odegaard's obviously out for a long time. Like, we've just got, like, it's the injuries and suspensions. Like, it's just all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong for Arsenal. It's been one of those years where we don't, if we lose this, title's gone. Simple as that. If we lose to Liverpool, title race is done. We have to win. If we win, everything's fine. If we lose, it's done. If we draw, then we're still nothing changes. So I've gone for a draw. I'd be more out of hope. If it was at Liverpool, if it was at Anfield, we're losing 4-1 or something crazy like that. Like, if it was at Anfield, it's a write-off. But the fact it's at the Emirates, I've gone for a draw. Maybe again, as I said, slightly hope. I've gone for Havertz to get a goal. Same with Gabriel. Havertz and Gabriel will get the goals for Arsenal. Salah and Van Dijk will get the goals for Liverpool. Be an entertaining game, and as a result, 2-2 draw. Liverpool's first point of the season, and Arsenal's another point in the season, to be honest. It's just, I'm very worried for this game. Let's just hope we don't lose. If we lose, forget about this. I mean, I've already forgotten about the season because City have probably got to pay their way to the title again, like they did against the Wolves game. And it's just, what can you do? What can you do? We barely beat Shakhtar in the Champions League midweek. 1-0 at home against Shakhtar, thanks to an own goal. If we struggle against them, we've got no hope this year because Shakhtar are struggling in the league, I'm pretty sure. So, with 2 bad games in a row. Let's hope we've got our bad games on the way. We have a great game against Liverpool. Let's just hope and pray. We can hope and pray. Please win, please. So that's going to be it then for Game Week 9. Obviously, the big one, Arsenal versus Liverpool. Obviously, massive title race. Obviously, Chelsea, Newcastle, big for top 4. City by themselves as always. And then some big matches in the relegation side of things. And also, a terrible game in West Ham and United. So if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe for that. Check out these videos, see anything else on this channel. And subscribe right there. And I'll see you next one. Bye, guys.